Hello everyone, here again Mark Cabrera, and today we'll be discussing procrastination. When does procrastination becomes productive? Which is an interesting question, because when we think about procrastination, it's usually a negative connotation to it. And we just laugh at it. It's like, oh yeah, I did that the other day. I didn't get this thing done because it's just like, oh my gosh, so much work to do on that part. So I delayed. And when the time comes, I had an hour to do it. I got it done, 1 hour before it's due. Okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I've done the same thing, right? And it doesn't always turn out pretty in the end. There's moments where I was looking in retrospect that I could have done a better job, that I didn't because I was procrastinating. So when the procrastination becomes productive, when you are procrastinating on your not to-do list, okay? Or not getting it done at all. Not to-do list is something that some people here are familiar with. A lot of you guys may not be familiar with. But it's a list of things that are eating away your time from creating production in this real estate business. The excuses why you didn't get certain things done. The reasons why that you didn't make your phone calls. Because, and then I'll list you the things and tell me if it's actually something that sounds familiar. I had to pick up my children. I had to play with my children. I had to spend time with my wife. Remember, mind you, all that is all good. But those things should be planned as well. Okay, not in place of making phone calls. Oh, I had to talk to my friend for 3 hours. I was on Facebook for 6 hours. Oh, because I was gonna make some marketing and I had to figure out what marketing the people are doing in Facebook. So I spent 6 hours instead of making phone calls at all. Oh, I had to learn KV Core, and that took like 5 days, and I still haven't learned it to this day because between procrastinating and that and actually not making my phone calls or not talking to people, not prospecting, trying to get business. I want to learn how to write contracts. Oh yes, I spent like 2 weeks writing contracts, fake contracts. So I know how to write contracts. Great. Where's your client? Procrastinating on your prospecting is something that will kill your business. And it will kill your business as long as that habit is there. So that should be part of your not to-do list, is not to procrastinate on making phone calls, talking to people, setting appointments, and face-to-face. Those should be the basics. So when you are procrastinating on time wasters such as watching TV, Facebooking, Instagramming, or Twittering, that's when procrastination becomes productive, because those things 60, 70, or even 80% of the time are unproductive. And sometimes it's even delegatable, which that's what I've done, because some people tell me like, oh, well, your social media is the greatest thing in the world. Guess what? Great. Social media is great. But if I cannot even reach my normal clients and customers that I normally work with and be able to do business with, what good does it do? That's something that's like a high-hanging fruit. I go after the low-hanging fruit first, and when I run out of that, then I go up higher. Perfectly fine. You should do the same. It's actually much better exercise. When you procrastinate on spending time with negative people, and believe it or not, we had our own shares of that. Sometimes we have a choice, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we enjoy the drama. Sometimes we want to hear people's problems. Sometimes we want to hear people's things that they're doing because we're curious and we're like one of those gossiping type of person, right? Well, guess what? If you procrastinate on that, you're going to do very well in this business, because nobody really needs to be gossiping around. Create something productive for yourself. When you're procrastinating on being a perfectionist and focusing on getting things done, do not procrastinate on getting things done. Okay? Procrastination is not always bad. Use it to stay away from negativity and distractions. That's bottom line. Negativity and distractions are the number one reasons people, and you can pretty much put that in 2 categories right there, of reasons why people procrastinate. Why solve your procrastination problem? It's not affecting your business anymore or less, probably. right? Or if you don't recognize that you don't have any problems with procrastinating and making it part of your business, fine. Because whatever you don't do, you would most likely do to most of your tasks. And what I mean by that is, if your approach to a particular work or task that you're doing is to procrastinate, more than likely that habit will carry on to all the other tasks. And 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of procrastination multiplied by 15, 20, 30, and you can see that the number of times, the number of hours, the time wasters that you're going to have starts to add up. So my philosophy is very simple. I work hard, I play hard. So I go to work and I work my darnest. And I do everything I can to get things done. And then when I play hard. I focus on just vacationing if I'm vacationing, doing the things I want to do when I'm doing things I want to do, playing with my kids or, hanging out with my wife. If this is a scheduled time that I do, that's what I do. So I don't always pick up my phone, mainly because when you pick up your phone, you break up that rhythm or that scenario, that circumstance you have with your families that bring memories and what they remember when they get older. Yeah, I was playing with my dad for 2 minutes and then I'm sitting there waiting for him for 5. I mean, it's not very pleasant, especially when they grow older. You cannot really take those things back. I had my fair share of that as well because, at some point I forgot about balancing my life, and I've been there because your career depends on it, especially if your family depends on you. After a while not making any income in this business, okay, your spouse will tell you, get the hell out of the business, get a full-time job. Okay, at some point they will do that. But if you focus on your business and you don't procrastinate, minimize your procrastination and create as much activities as you can, it's almost guaranteed you're gonna succeed in this business. And make sure also that you're constantly developing yourself. I don't know how much more I would stress this. Develop yourself through personal development programs out there, to classes, to books that you can read about how you can approach and learn how to influence people. All these other things that I've already been discussing here. So when I first came on board here, the idea was for me to talk about this area of the subject, not necessarily real estate, but it is somewhat real estate related, like I said, because personal development is not something that's taught in school a lot, and it's not taught in a lot of these classes that you'll understand. They're showing you techniques. But what good are techniques if your inside is not complete? If you don't know yourself, you don't know how to approach yourself, you're insecure about yourself, you don't know your insecurity, you don't know where it comes from, you don't understand certain things, you don't forgive people, you don't understand how to be patient with people, you don't know how to approach certain problems that come up, you don't know how to take care of the people that you're taking care of, the clients that you have right now, the people that you're selling a house to and they change their mind for some reason. Yeah, recently I had a mentee who just lost a client because the client changed their mind because someone talked them out of it, right? But instead of getting upset, she had the right attitude. That agent went back up and said, you know what, it's okay. Tomorrow's a new day, I'll go ahead and get another one. Sure enough, picked up another client. Why? Because she's constantly developing herself to be a better person, a better version of herself, the 2.0 version or the 3.0 version of herself. And it's constantly improving the way she's looking at the world. And based on that, you find success. You find success on constantly improving yourself because there's so much room for us to improve. And the better we are as human beings, the better we'll be received by others. And the more customers, more clients will come to you. It's a natural thing. So that's one of the reasons why you gotta minimize procrastination, is because procrastination is something that takes away time from you, from your work, and from your family. Because you'll get more tasks done and accomplish more with your plans and live in an intentional life. intentional life. When I say intentional, I mean you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of where you want your life to be. See, people can control or try to control you when you're employed. I've done that. I've been there. I've done that. But half the time I considered myself unemployable for that reason, that I don't follow what others' goals are. I follow my goal and what I see in this world. So that's why me and corporate never really got along very well, because there are no take-backs on regrets for not taking any action. This is a good one. If you look back in your life, you're gonna find little bits and pieces in your life that you could have done differently. Of course, some of us consider that as regret. I consider that as a learning experience. But the more important part of that, of the learning experience, is what you do now. See, regrets happen because we procrastinate, or one of the many reasons it happens. We don't take action, or we decide too late. You're gonna have times in your life where you wish you would have decided sooner and had that opportunity, and then you missed, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, moving forward, you gotta keep that in mind when you're procrastinating, that you might be turning down opportunity that you have now, that you later can look back and say, that was a mistake. So, because life is meant to be lived and not the other way around. Procrastination is the drainer of life, because as you go through life, you're gonna experience more if you get those important things done and procrastinate the ones that are not important, that doesn't impact you in a positive way. If something does not impact you in a positive way, right, procrastinate. But if something that you're doing or something that is happening that you need to make a decision right away, do not procrastinate, because you could say yes, you could say no. But the most important part is you've done the part when you can, or the sooner that you can get it done. My mom always told me this, and it's a words of wisdom for my mom. It's better to be first at something than to work hard at something and not be first. When I say first, as in you were the first one to pick up the opportunity. If you notice in our market, it's constantly changing. 1 year, 2 years from now, market could be down. 2 years ago, the market was going up. Right now, the market is high, right? All these market changes are happening all the time. The question becomes, where are you on this market that we have? If you're one of the first ones who did short sales in 2006 like I was kicking everybody's behind. If you're one of the first people in 2008 actually got into foreclosures and you already had relationships with these banks years prior, right, you would have been killing it. I have a friend that's actually here in Virginia that was listing 400 properties a year for the banks. So believe me, if you want to succeed, you want to make decisions when the decisions need to be made and not procrastinate. As Mark Twain says in this quote, never put off till tomorrow what may be done day after tomorrow just as well. Because if it's not gonna get done today, it doesn't matter if it's tomorrow or the next day at that point. So to me, getting things done today is more important if the task is the important task that you need to be doing. But if it's gonna be time wasters that you're gonna be doing, procrastinate on that. It's okay to procrastinate on those. I have this saying, why put off something today when there are better things to do than something you don't like to do, and you'll end up needing it to do it in another day anyways, if it's that important. So if you're here right now and you're getting ready to do something and you're uncomfortable or you don't feel good about it because whatever reason you have, but it has to get done, right? Why put yourself through hell of anxiety and doing it tomorrow, next week, right? Get it out of the way. If it's painful, don't prolong the pain. Shorten the pain to the shortest possible time because it needs to be done anyway. And sometimes those things go further out and it becomes worse. Like somebody's procrastinating taking their car to the mechanic shop, let's say, right? And first they only had an oil problem. After a week, they have an engine problem. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's so painful because you have to cough up, let's say, $200 to fix that oil problem that you're having or oil leak that you're having. But a week from now, you procrastinated, you have $5,000 to replace an engine. So if you look at that analogy, it makes perfect sense to get things done when you need to get it done. Even though it costs you a little bit of money now, it costs you a lot less in the future. So procrastination has no room for successful people in the real estate business. Thank you so much.